Okay, so this video is a vlog in response to the new student dialogues that Clemson required us to do. We were put in a room with a ton of our peers and asked to discuss certain issues, and the issue assigned to me was privilege in our society. And I think this is an interesting prompt. It definitely is very relevant to our lives as we are college students. We all are privileged to be here. We live in the United States of America, where we are all extremely privileged, as our middle class is seen as, enormously high standard of living compared to other places in the world, where their higher class barely touches ours. That said, I think that this dialogue could have been conducted better. The proctors that we were assigned seemed to be eager to leave. One of them was very quiet, brought up prompts that could be answered with short, one phrase answers, and then they seemed frustrated that we were not giving them more. When asked to, they would sometimes ask a short question, someone would answer it, they would they would make some judgmental comment and then act frustrated that no one was elaborating on that. Then they would ask how we felt about that answer, which I think is a little hard to talk about in a room full of that many people. We were in a circle, in chairs, sitting in a big open room. The proctors were slightly judgmental, so I see how people were a little reserved, didn't want to talk openly. But there were certain people that did speak out. I tried to ease the silence as much as I could. I'd offer an opinion on almost every question, try to, get some discussion going. Most of the time it would just be I would talk, then someone else would talk, I would answer them. Then the guy would ask that if that someone would speak that hadn't spoke yet, and no one would, so we'd move on to the next prompt. I think that maybe the proctors could have been trained a little bit better, maybe given some open-ended discussion prompts that would lead to more discussion. I think that asking a group of, we're all, everyone just sitting in this room, that their peers, they didn't want to just say what was on their mind. Maybe if they were given more, structured prompts, they would be able to answer the question, give their opinion. Someone else could counter if they wanted to. I think that would be a better approach than just they would read a definition and then ask our opinion on it. I didn't think that was very useful to starting discussion. Maybe it was just the proctors, maybe it was the way the program was designed, I don't know. But I tried to interact as much as I could. Some of the wheel was interesting. Some of the activities were, they were encouraged thought, so those were good. Maybe just in the future encourage more, talkative response. So do you figure group achieved true dialogue? I don't think we did. It was me and 2 other people that actually conducted dialogue. Other people just answered questions in one sentence and then wouldn't talk again. So I don't know, maybe it's that we were forced to be there in an uncomfortable environment with 2 proctors that didn't really want to be there either. So the dynamics of my group, there are active voices. There were active voices. I would consider myself one of them. There were me, maybe 2 other people that were actively discussing on almost every prompt because we wanted the awful silence to end. There were reserved voices. There were barely, most of the people didn't talk at all, which I thought was interesting, but I guess there are reserved people. I don't know why, they're being forced, they have to be there, might as well say something, but I guess people don't feel that way. Maybe some people felt pressured, a little uneasy in a group of that many people, didn't want to be, judged by the peers, I guess. So I think that the dialogue is a useful component of Library 100, but I think it definitely could have been approached differently. Maybe smaller groups, maybe more open-ended discussion prompts, more structured than just, what do you feel about this definition? I don't think that was very effective. So, in conclusion, I think that, this dialogue could have been a useful tool, but maybe could have conducted in a more conducive manner. In a large room with just chairs and empty space, I believe many students felt that they could not openly share their opinions. With so many people in the room, I could see how people could have felt uneasy speaking to all their peers. I tried to combat this awkwardness and spoke whenever possible, but the proctor of the discussion often had short, closed-end discussions, then got frustrated when people gave short answers. The proctor seemed somewhat judgmental, and one of them seemed eager to get through the prompt so he could leave. There were some interesting points brought up, and I engaged in conversation with 2 or 3 other students, but the majority were content with sitting there until it was time to leave. So, maybe revise the manner of which this is conducted. I definitely think it's a useful activity, though. People, to share opinions. We're in a very diverse environment. Maybe not so much Clemson. It's a more conservative environment. But a college is traditionally, pretty, there's a lot of different opinions in one place. So I think this is, by nature, a good activity. Just I think it could have better design. So that's my thoughts on the dialogue. And I hope that in the future people maybe revise it and make it more student friendly, because I think people could learn from it. So thank you.